Hey friends, it's Cynthia. Welcome back to Life at the Nut House. So today we're going to make some bagels and some bagel bites. I will put the recipe link down below that I use. We're going to do the larger version, which is 9 rolls or 9 bagels. It's going to start with 1.5 cups of warm water, 3 tablespoons of sugar, 2 teaspoons of salt, and then we're going to add 4 cups of bread flour and 2 teaspoons of instant yeast on top of the flour. Now, I'm using my bread machine, but as usual, you don't have to. You can do this by hand. This is a stiff dough though, so it will be quite a workout. Or you can use your stand mixer, which I do a lot of times as well. Now, we're not using the bread machine for like cooking the dough or anything. We're just gonna use the dough setting, and it will knead it and let it rise, and then when it's finished we will form the bagels up. Now you'll see in this video where my dough was a little dry, so you need to make sure that it's hydrated enough, and I don't want any of those little bits of flour around. You'll see in the next few minutes what I'm talking about. So here you can see it's really too dry, it's shaggy, and that's not what I'm looking for. So I'm going to add just about a teaspoon or so of water at a time until all of the bits around that pan are incorporated into the dough ball. So if I were using my stand mixer, I would knead this for around 5 to 10 minutes, and then I would let it rise till it's almost doubled in size, which will take about 1.5 to 2 hours. And the bread machine is 1.5 hours to do its full cycle where it kneads it and lets it rise and all of that. But because it has a heating element, it probably rises a little bit faster than the stand mixer. But either way, I've done it both ways. So here it is coming out of the bread machine, and now we're going to flour our surface. And this particular recipe makes 9 full-size bagels. So I'm going to cut them into 9 pieces, but I'm not going to make full-size bagels with all of them. I'm going to make some bagel bites with most of them, and then just 3 full-size bagels. So you'll see here me cutting it up into 9 pieces roughly. This does not have to be measured and accurate and all that. It's it's up to you how big or how little you want your bagels. So I'm going to begin by pinching the dough and rolling it in my hand. You'll see I'll take a ball and kind of pinch it up on itself. I'll try to show you in just a minute exactly how it's done. And I want to make sure that I roll it enough to where the seam disappears, because I don't want it to come open or have big cracks in the bottom. You'll see here I'm pinching the dough on top of itself, and then I pinch it really well, and then you'll cup your hand and either on your countertop or in your hand roll it into a ball until that seam is gone. Now some of these are going to be bagel bites for our freezer for the kids, and these are going to be small ones like the mini bagels that you can buy. We're just going to do the same thing, except for it's just a smaller piece of dough. Now if I wanted this dough to be huge, like sandwich size, or you know, bigger than the bagel traditional size, then I would make them larger. It's totally up to you. You can make any size you want, but the small little bagel bites are like the ones you get at the store. And I'll show you in a few minutes the ingredients on the back of the bagel bites. It's unreal how much nonsense is in those bagel bites, and how really few ingredients are needed to make a healthier version of this snack that my kids love. So here are the ingredients in the back of the bagel bites from the store. There are some ingredients that I'm not too fond of, such as soybean oil. There is soybean oil in a lot of things, and I don't particularly want to eat that all the time. So just be aware, you know, what's on the back of the boxes, and see if you can make it for yourself, because the box of bagel bites are like $10, and these cost nearly nothing to make. Just flour, you know, water, some yeast, a can or a jar of pizza sauce, some mozzarella or any kind of cheese, and whatever your toppings are. So this will save so much money and also be better for you. So now we're going to shape the bagels, and I do this by poking a hole in the center, and then normally I will use my fingers and just roll it around and around. I'll show you, it's hard to explain, but poke your finger, make a hole in the center, and then just ring it around. Now I don't believe you can get these too big, because as they rise they'll go back together. So I think it's important that they're, you know, pretty wide before they start their final little rise. And we're going to do the same thing for all of these. Then they're going to rise for 15 minutes. Now don't let them over rise. So 15 minutes is plenty. They're just going to poof up just a little bit, and then we'll get them in our boiling water. So now we have a pot of water, and I'm going to add 1 tablespoon of sugar and 1 tablespoon of baking soda to the water, and I'm going to bring it up to a boil. Now the baking soda and the sugar help to form that chewy texture and the brown look of the sourdough. I'm not making sourdough, of the bagels. So you really want to add that. I'm not sure how it would turn out if you didn't, but I always do just the sugar and the baking soda. And these will not take very long. You're going to do about 30 seconds to a minute per side, and then put them on a baking sheet. Now make sure your baking sheet is lined with, you know, parchment paper or something, because they are really bad to stick. In fact, I'm using parchment paper plus some avocado oil on top, just to make sure that they don't stick. Now I have my oven preheated to 375 degrees, and we're going to go ahead and put an egg wash on top of the bagels, which is just an egg, maybe a little water, a little milk, or nothing. I didn't use anything extra. to brush on top to give us a more deeper brown color, and this also will help any topping stick to it. Now on the bagel bites, I'm not putting any topping at all on it. So, but you can put I'm using some garlic powder on one. You could do sesame seeds. If you like the everything bagel seasoning, you could do that. You could do cinnamon sugar. You could even add into your dough, you know, other ingredients like the blueberries or whatever. Shredded cheese is also a favorite to add. I also like to add some nutritional yeast on top. But today we're just going to keep it simple and do one that's garlic, one that's sesame seed, and one that's plain. And then, of course, the bites are just going to get the wash and not any toppings. But you could, you know, if you want to. So these will take anywhere from 15 to 25 minutes. Just keep an eye on them. Here they are out of the oven, and they are super duper hot. I'm going to wait until they cool to be able to make those bagel bites for our freezer. Okay, so now I'm going to take these little mini bagels, cut them in half, and then we will add some type of pasta sauce. Now I bought this pasta sauce from Aldi, but I also like to can my own pasta sauce. So it just depends on what you like. You could use Alfredo. You can use you know, no sauce, I guess. That would be pretty bland. But go ahead and cut these open, and then we're going to add like a teaspoon or so of sauce. If you like a lot, then add a lot. And then your toppings. Today I'm going to be using some provolone cheese slices. I thought I was going to use mozzarella, but it was frozen solid, and I did not want to dirty up any dishes by having to grate any cheddar cheese or any other one that I had. So we're just going to use the sliced provolone, and actually it worked really well. So on the next batch I might buy that or some sliced mozzarella as well to use. And then we're going to put these in the freezer, and they're going to freeze solid, and once they are completely frozen, we will put them in a Ziploc bag, and that way when the kids want a bagel bite, they can grab them a couple and put it in the oven, and it's a quick and easy lunch or snack. Okay guys, that's it for today's video. I hope you will like, subscribe, and comment down below. And until we see you again, may God bless you.